Listen to the Locker Room Pulse on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music for sports fans by sports fans.
Hello and welcome to the Locker Room Pulse. My name is Alfie.
My name's Finley.
And today we're joined by a rather special guest. So without further ado, let him introduce himself.
Good morning, guys. My name's Alfie Essex. I'm coach, that's how I know Alf. And yeah, thank you for having me on the pod.
So obviously you've played football your whole career, whole life actually, should I say. Why don't you talk us through it a little bit?
Yeah, well, I mean, 21 now. I feel like I've been playing football forever. It does. I think I started when I was about 5, locally at Heathrow, we were called. And then, yeah, just growing up, I played with so many different clubs. Always successful, always had trials at academies. Never quite got into the academy. I was always on the brink. And then up until under-18s at Uxbridge, and now playing first team football at British Airways.
Do you want to sort of, obviously, with the academies, obviously, which ones were you at the time?
So I was at Tottenham from the age of 7 to about 10 or 11. I was there for quite a long time. And that was the most I was on the brink. I was in and out of the academy. When I was 11, I got offered a contract by Crystal Palace. Didn't take it because I was going to secondary school. Had that as a priority. And then when I was in secondary school, I had 2 trials at Wimbledon. The first time I got told I didn't move enough. That's their opinion. And then the second time, I just didn't enjoy it. I felt like I was at a stage in my so-called career that I wanted the serious side. I was more mature than my age. I was ready for it's a must-win game. And I think we lost one game to Portsmouth, and it was like laughing and joking and training, which obviously is needed in football, but it was also like we just got battered. Like we need to have a little bit of a grilling, and I just weren't enjoying it. So then that was probably my last chance at about under 15 to get a scholarship, and then from there I just focused on the semi-professional side, working the way up the step pyramid, as it's called.
Yeah, so you say you're in around quite a few academies when you were younger. Like, for most young players, what's the step going up to men's football from academy football? What's the difference for you?
I think one thing that people don't understand is, and I was quite lucky that I weren't always in academy football, and I got to play under-18s at Uxbridge, and under-23s football it's a different game. Like, it's completely different. Like, I mean, it sums up when we played Brentford under-18s in the Cup a few weeks ago, and don't get me wrong, they were better than us at passing, moving, they were sharper, they were quicker, but we lumped it long and bullied them in the air. And that's how non-league is, that's how it works. So the youngsters that can't get their pros or aren't getting the minutes or are playing in that under-23 Premier League team, you have to go out on loan, you have to experience the setting of playing non-league football. From my level to non-league, to National League to League 2, it's no different the way teams play. It's just that they're quicker and they're better and they're stronger. So it's understanding the side of the game that isn't nice.
Yeah.
That's the main factor.
Yeah, so also playing men's football as well, you've obviously non-league as well. It's sort of brings people together, you know. Have you made any long-time friends playing non-league?
Yeah, massively. So I've only ever been at one men's team. I was quite lucky that when I joined, I went with 5 of my teammates from Uxbridge, which helped massively. It helped go in. We had great lads. We had a mix of young lads, which we were, and then we had the older senior heads, and they were superb. We got on really well. One of them, about 30, I went to his wedding in the first season, went on a stag do. We got really, really close. And then also some of the other lads that I went on holiday with, like Ray, I just get on with him so well. And even now, this season, we've had a bit of change at the team. So I've known the new lads for 3-4 months. I've only met him in July. And there's already lads that I'm really close with, go out with on a weekend. It makes big friendships. But it's important that, it's another thing that people don't realise is, outside of football, you have to commit to it. So after the game, you have to stay, you have to talk to people. It's not just go to training, go to the match, say goodbye. Like you did as kids, you have to put the effort in to see each other and spend time with each other.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the good part of non-league as well.
Yeah.
Just get people that you meet and you want to spend the rest of your life with them.
And it helps on the pitch as well.
Yeah,
the more you bond in the bar, nights out, the better you play on the pitch together, because you can, like I said, it's a nasty side in non-league. So if I go out with you and I can tell you on the pitch that something's not good enough, you can know that it's nothing personal. Where if you just turn up to training and see me once or twice a week, you might not take the information on as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is important.
So obviously, sort of jumping over to what you do now, you're coaching, obviously, Sandgate. You're there most days of the week, aren't you? How does that obviously balance with British Airways? Have you managed to keep the balance of playing, coaching sort of enough with the time to go out as well?
I mean, it's hard. I feel like I'm never at home. It's hectic, but it's something you've got to commit to, and then it's something that you've got to work out how to kind of do both at the same time. So like on a Tuesday, we train at Sandgate, which helps obviously, but it's going there earlier to maybe plan sessions for the week and then go to training. Or so I train 7:30 till 9:30, but I'm probably there at 5 o'clock just to do some coaching work. And then on a Saturday, I coach 9 to 11, but obviously it's more like 8:30 till 11:30. And then I've got a game that I've got to meet at 1:30 in Oxford. So you've got to be prepared for the football so that you're not coaching and rushing around. You have to be prepared on the Friday night, which I'm not very good at, to be honest. But it's trying to make sure all the stuff's ready so that you can just go to the game and not turn up with no boots, no shin pads like I did a few weeks ago.
And even last night.
Yeah. Mate, I'm all for it. Went training in my coaching boots.
Yeah, so you coach Sandgate, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, being a more experienced head now in football, you've been in it your whole life, you say. Is there any players you look at Sandgate and you coach thinking, wow, these players can really go on and be something?
Yeah, I've always been quite lucky with the team that I've coached. Obviously, Alfie's little brother plays in it. And ever since they were under sevens, or even under sixes, when we started them as under sevens, they were capable. They were always experienced, more mature. They gained the experience through the way that I coach, and I feel like it's important that I coach from how I've been coached. Obviously, like I said, I've been so many good experiences, so many good coaches, so many good clubs, that if I take a little bit of all of them, I can just feed it to them. And like I said, I'm very lucky with the team I've got. I'm very lucky with the parents of my team. They're very helpful. They ask for help. They don't, loads of Sunday league teams. The dad's over there, the coach is there, and it's just shouting information. Yeah. It's quite good at my club that it's not like that. But I always tell the boys, all I want from my team, and we've got 13 boys, is that all 13 of them play football when they're 21, 22. Which all of them have chances to go semi-pro, some have chances to go pro. Obviously, some might not have a chance now to go pro, in my opinion, but one day it clicks and they just improve, and that's what the aim is. But my main priority is that all 13 of them are playing football when they're 21 and they're in some sort of setup, whether that's semi-professional, whether that's professional, whether that's a high-level five-a-side, like five-a-side's becoming big now, just something where they're still playing, because they all have really, really big potential.
Yeah.
So obviously you've had some of your players go on to play for, was it Luton and QPR?
Yeah.
How proud do you feel knowing you've helped them get there?
Yeah, it's a very good feeling. It is a very good feeling. Obviously, you don't want to take loads of credit, and as much as I sound like I don't really care, but it is my job. That's what I aim to do. And obviously they have other coaches that help, but to be part of that journey and to see the boys, obviously you see their Instagram posts, because all the kids love Instagram now, but you see how well they're doing and you see clips, and it just makes you so proud, because you think that I was part of that journey and I had them from when they were so young. So that's like the key fundamentals of football. So yeah, it is really, really nice to see.
Yeah, so probably being a coach now, you play, is it 7-a-side, 11-a-side that you coach?
9 and 9-a-side.
9-a-side. So each coach have their different tactics. Like, what's your style of play that really, you want your, team to play football?
Yeah, I think style of play is always, if you play football, it's always impacted by how you play. I was never skillful. I was never quick. I was never drive at a man and beat him. It was always get the ball, move it. Find a new space, get the ball, move it. Get the ball, move it. So I think that's why the style of play that I like to watch, I like to coach, is that one. But with that, it's important to not take away factors of kids that make them, if that makes sense. So obviously we have people in our team that are skillful. They want to go 1v1. and it's not making them like a typical new winger that Pep's kind of designed to just keep moving it. It's, can you make the right decision to play the pass? But when you have the moment, can you still express yourself? Can you still go one-on-one? But definitely my favourite side of play is quick build-up. If you can play forward, play it forward, but mainly keeping the ball on the floor. No matter the score, can you just play football? Because results don't matter to me yet.
Yeah, so you get coaches sort of nowadays, as you progress to 11-a-side, it's more physical side of things.
Yeah.
You want coaches to play more long ball, and I feel like for people that young, under 18s, under 16s sort of age groups, it kind of kills their enjoyment for the game.
100%.
So yeah, I sort of agree with like the philosophy of playing the ball on the floor. Nice, good football. They call it sexy football. You know what I mean?
I think as well. I think coaches. I mean, we all do it. I do it at times as well. Is people get so focused on winning that they take away the actual other side of it, where the quickest way to goal is straight and long. So sometimes people see that work and they go, oh, let's do it again. And then they win 3-0, but they haven't made a pass. And we saw it last year when we were 7-a-side, no offsides, people were standing offside. And it's like, okay, cool, you beat us 2-1, but our goal, we broke all 3 of your lines and played a sweaty and scored, where you lot pumped it along from your goalkeeper and tapped it in because you was 1-1 with the keeper. What has that kid learned from that scenario? But it's making sure that you teach them the side of winning whilst teaching them the way of winning. And like you said, even under 18s, under 16s are still so young. It's making sure that they know how to do that side of the game, how to compete, how to win their duels, how to win their headers, so that if they go to the non-league, they're ready, like we previously spoke about. But it's also, can you play the right football? Because at the end of the day, the teams that win every single league in non-league are better than the other teams at doing specific stuff. So you need to make sure that you can outplay a team, outwork a team. That's the important side of it.
Yeah, and I think at that age, it's more about developing players more 100%. Than winning and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, with all your coaching, as a team we've won many different trophies.
Yeah, done well.
Obviously, what's it, under 8s we won Sandgate tournament. Was it without conceding a goal? Or?
Yeah, we conceded in the last second of the final.
Literally, clean sheets all the way through. Last kick of the game, they managed to get in. Yeah. But then obviously that feeling of winning on penalties afterwards, it was unreal. Obviously, many different tournaments as well we've won. So sort of excluding that Sandgate one, because I know you'd probably say that's your favourite.
Definitely.
What was your favourite winning?
Oh, that's a tough question. But I mean, this is going to sound like I'm making it not about me, but honestly, my favourite one that we won was the one that I won there.
The one I won.
The one that you won, Alf. Because knowing that my team could go and perform without me, with you, and it was credit to you as well, because you've been there since you were like 13.
I think it was still younger, 12,
11.
11.
13, and obviously when I'm not there, it's like a supply teacher. It's like we can do whatever we want, no matter who was there. I honestly think if you put Pep Guardiola there, they'd still mess about. But it's because it's not me, it's not the same face that's been there for 4 or 5 years. So I think I was at Brentford, Fulham.
Something like that.
Yeah, and you took the team and won. That was definitely my happiest win, because it was like they know how to play by themselves now. It's not robotic. It's not, I'm here, so I've got to play the right football. I've got to work hard. It was Alf's there with a dad, and they can go and win. So yeah, that's definitely my favourite.
And just quickly, something about that tournament that I'm still trying to work out is we've managed to win a tournament without scoring a goal from open play.
Yeah.
No, we didn't actually score a goal full stop.
Yeah, Penn Merchants.
I think we missed Penn in the group stage. I think Ollie missed one in the knockouts. But the heads didn't drop. We fought back, and obviously didn't the final keeper saved 3 penalties, I think, something like that as well.
Yeah, and I think that was the summer just gone, wasn't it? And I think the whole summer we didn't miss a penalty. We scored something like...
Up until the last tournament.
In penalty shootouts, yeah, except from the last one. I think we scored like 29 out of 30 or something.
Which is impressive.
Yeah, good stat.
Yeah, and... this question slipped my mind. Yeah, so going back to your playing career, so you're playing Step 5 right now for British Airways.
Yeah.
Is there any players in your team that, you just look at and they amaze you every time? Is there one certain player?
Yeah, throughout the 3 years that I've been at BA now, either playing with or playing against, there's so many players in our league, our level, that have kind of just slipped through the systems, or haven't got the kind of like the nasty side, or haven't got the commitment, have been at an academy since they were like 16 to 18 and just kind of knocked their confidence because they've been let go. So there's times in training where you just watch players and you're like, wow, they can do stuff that you didn't even realise they can do. They're so good on the ball. Especially like, we train obviously on a Tuesday on a grass pitch at Sandgate, and then on a Thursday on an Astro, and it's completely different.
Yeah.
You can see the difference in players. And yeah, I mean, there's loads of different players. There was players when we got promoted a few years ago and we were just too good for the level. There was players that could do everything. We could work, we could play nice football. We played against some great players that have gone on to go higher, have gone on to go up the steps into League Two. So yeah, there's definitely a few. I'm not going to name drop. I don't want to boost their ego, but there is a few that have done really well, and they should be playing levels higher.
Yeah, because you get at that level, sort of nowadays especially, you get players that could be playing step 1, step 2.
Yeah.
That just haven't got the commitment. But yeah, I think the quality in leagues is so small now between say step 1 and step 5. It's not that big of a difference.
No.
So yeah, quality is really.
It's just about adapting to that level.
Yeah.
Because you see so many players, like obviously it's hard to jump from step 5 to step 1, but there's so many players that go 1 year at step 5, 1 year at step 4, one at step 3, 1 at step 2, and they just slowly rise because they adapt and they learn. For example, before I was at British Airways, Eddie Simon played for British Airways, and then he left and went to Walton Hersham, who then won step 4, so he went up with them, then played step 3, done really well at step 3, and then went up to step 2. He plays for Tunbridge Angels now. So he was in step 6 because that's where BA was at the time, and he just slowly climbed. And it's credit to him, but it's achievable. It is.
Obviously, just speak about your promotion. Obviously, I remember being at that game.
Yeah.
Went to penalty shootouts. I think, unfortunately, so we won't speak about who missed the penalty.
Yeah, I think I missed a penalty.
Obviously, excluding that moment must have been unbelievable for you, the team, obviously everyone watching.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember step 6 promotion game.
Yeah.
Massive crowds.
I think it was 550.
Yeah, something like that.
550.
For obviously step 6 promotion game, that's impressive.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday night as well,
Yeah.
which obviously adds to it. And there was also the 2 step 5 playoff finals were on the same night. So the fact that we got 550 people there when Rayners Lane were playing their promotion.
Next door.
Yeah, about 10 minutes away. So, yeah, I mean, that was a great night. And I think, even though I missed a penalty in the penalty shootout, it was obviously a 0-0 draw. I think it made it better because we'd been through so much the whole season. Like especially that being my first year in non-league, you don't realise how long it is.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was something like 42 league games. You obviously play the Cups, you play the FA Vars. Finally getting there, we finished second in the league. We felt like we deserved it. No one else felt like we deserved it. They moaned at everything we did. We were never good enough. We were labelled as the best, worst team in the league, which makes no sense whatsoever, but it just added to us. And then we beat Rising Ballers in the semis, which was great because they obviously made that clip of me at the start of the year when he put me on my backside.
I don't know if you've probably seen it or not.
Nah, it's too far down now. He twisted me inside out and I fell over and he put it on that thing. But obviously then to beat them in the semi was unbelievable in itself. And then to get to the final and beat Berks on penalties after I missed the first penalty of the shootout was like the best feeling, because walking back after I missed that penalty, it just hit me. It was like wow, what a letdown. And obviously the way I play as well, I feel like I'm quite a technical player. I back myself in a penalty shootout every day of the week. Everyone watching have always told me since, like, when you walked up, we knew it was going in, well, thought it was going in. So walking back was the worst feeling I've ever had. But then it was flip-sided by when Ben saved both penalties. It made it the best feeling ever.
The scenes there was...
Yeah, it
I remember
was
it really well.
Pitch invasion, I think it was. Yeah, it was. I had all my team there as well, which helped. But yeah, no, it was probably the best night of my playing career by a mile, I'd say.
Yeah, and obviously having your team there to back you, obviously you must feel proud that they see you as sort of one of their role models.
Yeah, it's nice. I think that's like my proudest thing about being a coach is that they can look up to me and they can relate to me and they get to share these experiences with me because I get to talk to them about it. And it helps them when they're playing understand that it's okay. Like, if we get to a penalty shootout, Ollie misses the first penalty of the shootout. Ollie was at that final. I can just remind him of, it's okay, I know how you feel. He's going to save the next one. And then we win it, and it just makes them feel better. They can relate. So being at that game was a great moment. They thought I was like Messi at that point. They were only about 8 years old, so they thought I was unbelievable. They thought I won the Champions League, I think. But yeah, no, it's nice that they see me as the role models. I always say to them, like, you have to see me as a brother, but still obviously respect me when I speak. But if you want to come talk to me, if you want to share something that's not related to football, if you think you're having a really, really bad game, just come and ask me what you can do better. That's important. It's not the boys scared of me. That can never happen. They have to obviously have a little bit of fear, so they don't just wrap me around the finger, but they have to not be scared of me, where they can come and speak to me and they can look up to me.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about football, really. You can be a role model, but you can also make memories for life. Really.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah, especially non-league and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I think that promotion was, I mean, I'll never forget it. I wish I could go back to that feeling.
yeah.
Yeah, so obviously, moving on now, you've been Brentford fan for a while.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've seen Griffin Park, new stadium.
Yeah.
Which one do you sort of prefer more?
Griffin Park. It's not even close. I mean, when everything came out about we was losing Griffin Park, it was already like, nothing's beating this. Like, this is home. This is where I grew up watching the games. Obviously, when I was a kid, my family was kind of split. My mum's side was with Chelsea. My dad's side was Brentford. So I was going to both. And then when I got a season ticket at Brentford when I was about 9 or 10, that just became my home. That was where I feel like I proper matured as a person, because I was going to football with my mate Ollie every Saturday at like the age of 12, getting the bus there. I was learning how much football means to people. And yeah, Brentford just became like my life. And then losing Griffin Park during COVID as well, so we never got to experience that last game, made it 10 times worse. Because our last game that we watched at Griffin Park was Sheffield Wednesday at home. And then like a week later, it was like, okay, no football's happening. And it was like, wow, that's our last game at Griffin Park. Like, we get to watch. And obviously the new stadium's nice, and you need the new stadium. It's modern. It's not as all tacky as Griffin Park was, but I mean, that was home. It will never be beaten. Nothing we could have produced was going to beat the feeling of going to Griffin Park. So, yeah, if I could go watch Griffin Park one more time, I'd pay anything in the world.
Yeah, obviously also you've seen Brentford all over. You've been Wembley to watch them. You've been Stamford Bridge, and I've sort of remembered them games, unfortunately.
Some great games at Stamford Bridge.
What is sort of the best moment you remember from Brentford?
I mean, I've had so many. There's so many games as well that when you go to away games and you experience these things, the result actually doesn't matter at times. Like, the best days are when you're with your mates and you're having a great time. And I think in terms of footballing, it's the playoff final that we won. Obviously, against Swansea, it was the best feeling. There was only a few thousand of us there because it was in COVID. That was easily the best feeling of my life. Like, Brentford actually in the Prem. I'd watched Brentford at Wembley prior against Yeovil when we lost in the playoff final of League One for Yeovil. And to come so far and to finally get into the Premier League was the best feeling. But then the days that you get to get Newcastle away with my mates, lost like 6-1, I think we lost. But the day is incredible. Burnley, we lost 3-1. And Burnley is a terrible place to go. But the experience and the journey you have with your best mates cannot be beaten. So if anyone wants to go watch an away game and is unsure and they've got one mate, you have to just go and do it. Because I spent the first year in the Prem when I was 16. I think I only missed 2 games. And that was because I was in Florida. So if it weren't for that, I'd have gone to every game. And yeah, it was the best year. It was so fun.
So obviously, just a quick one, excluding obviously Griffin Park, G-Tech and Wembley, sort of out the Prem, you've been to all of them, I'm presuming?
I think so.
Except obviously Everton.
Yeah, everyone's a new one.
What is the best thing you've been to? Obviously looks, atmosphere.
In the world.
Yeah, we're going to the world.
So I'll go in England to start. I think in England, something that is so underrated is the Etihad. I don't think anyone knows what their fans are like until you go. I was always they've got no fans, empty had, all that. when we went there, we were little old Brentford, first year in the Prem on a Wednesday night, and it was freezing, and we thought it's going to be half empty. We lost 2-0, and we went 1-0 down to a penalty, and they celebrated like they won the league. It was mental. They were climbing in our end. We were like, wow. Like, we did not know what was going on. It was, their atmosphere is incredible. And then in the world, it has to be the San Siro. Went there in December to watch AC Milan versus
Roma.
Yeah, I mean, that stadium is incredible. Yeah, nothing will be that.
Obviously, something special about that game. You got, was it like a little day out sort of out of it?
Yeah, you got like a little VIP experience.
Do you want to sort of just speak about it?
Yeah, I'll go through it quickly because it can be quite long, but we went for Frank's birthday, my best mate Frank. We went for his birthday, and we took my little brother because I don't really know why, but my little brother loves AC Milan. I think it's to do with a song that they sing or something. And yeah, we added him, gave it to him at Christmas, cried his eyes out. It was recorded, it went viral. Someone from AC Milan got in touch with us, and I mean, the night we were VIP, we sat in the box with Alvaro Morata's family. We met Zlatan. We were watching the warm-ups. We met Rafael Leao. We met all the players afterwards, except from a couple. Yeah, it was just incredible. Like, I didn't know things like that, like, could happen. I didn't know it was experienced. Obviously, it's massive credits to my brother, who cried on telly, as we tell him. But, I mean, it got us the greatest night of our lives. We couldn't believe it. We were walking in, we had like an entourage of people, treated us like celebrities. Everyone was looking at us thinking it was celebrities. The executive directors were all coming up to my little brother like, oh, you're the little boylet from England. And we were just like, why do they know us? But, yeah, I mean, there's a retro shirt that Zlatan signed directly to my brother. So, yeah, great night.
Yeah, and I don't think anything beats football abroad, especially AC Milan.
Definitely not.
San Siro, I think it's getting knocked down in a few years,
Yeah.
so it's obviously it's like a piece of history to go and see in the last few years. So yeah, so
experiencing their culture as well is probably one of the best things. Obviously, the stadium's unreal. You get to watch the AC Milan, which is unreal in itself. But I think it was an hour before kickoff, 2 hours before kickoff, and there was like fireworks going on outside. And you go to an England game, and the only people you get there 2 hours before kickoff are the tourists. Like,
yeah.
That's a fact. You only get the tourists or the people that have just accidentally gone there to like go to the shop or something. But to actually be at the ground and experience it, it's only tourists. And then you go there and it was fireworks. The Roma fans were in for the warm-up. Like, they were making so much noise for the warm-up, and it was incredible experiencing that and what it means to them out there.
Yeah, so much more for them, I feel like, as a fan base as well.
It does.
Abroad, it's just mental. Like get Galatasaray, like their fans are apparently meant to be bonkers. So yeah, I think abroad it's just a different kettle of fish sort of thing.
It is.
I'd say let's go now. In the Premier League, you've only been at the G-Tech in the Premier League, if I'm right. What's the best game that you've watched as a Brentford fan in the Premier League?
I'd say I'll do a home one and an away one. I think at home at the G-Tech, I mean, we've had a lot of wins at home, which against big clubs are good memories. But I think the first one, when we beat Arsenal, first game at the G-Tech, was just incredible. Yeah, Serge Canos and Norgard both scored, 2-0 win. I think for me, it was extra special because I knew what we could do.
Yeah.
And loads of Brentford fans knew what we could do. And everyone else was like, yeah, they can bottom the league. Like everyone does with the newly promoted teams. It's kind of whoever wins the playoffs, if they're not actually that, like Southampton last year, won the playoffs the previous year, they were just nowhere near it. We were so ready for the Prem. And we knew that. All the fans knew that. And then to finally prove it against Arsenal was just incredible. I mean, we've had loads of good wins at home, like I said, but that being the first one, first time that all the fans have been at the ground as well, because the playoff semi-final just before was COVID. So we had fans there, I was there, but it wasn't sold out. So sell out against Arsenal to win was incredible. And an away win, I mean, it's got to be one of the Stamford Bridge wins. I would say the 4-1 win, but I wasn't there. But no, I'd probably still say that one. That one was incredible in the Prem. 4-1 against Chelsea, Ericsson and Vitaly Janelt masterclass.
I remember watching that thing on TV.
Yeah, that was when I was in Florida. And it being Chelsea just adds to it.
Exactly, yeah. And I was a season ticket holder at Brentford at the G-Tech for the first 3 seasons of the Prem, I think.
Yeah.
And in that first season, I saw some cracking games, to be fair. Yeah. And in the second season as well, because I'm a United fan, I went to the United game, he beat us 4-0. Yeah. That was some game as well for you lot.
That was good as well. I think that game, we had a match, and we got there and we was walking in and we'd scored. We didn't even realise it was a celebration because we didn't even know the game kicked off. I think we scored in like 1 minute when De Gea made that mistake.
Yeah.
I think all 3 of us were at that game, actually.
Yeah, that was extra good as well because Ericsson had just joined you lot, I believe.
Yeah.
He lost the ball on the edge of the box.
He signed on a free in the summer, yeah, I remember. But I was going to say in the first season, I think it was 21-22, I was going to say that Liverpool game where it was 3-3, I think, where Liverpool wore that like McDonald's looking kit. That was some game as well. For me as a neutral, but like I could tell, you could say little old Brentford in their first season, you know, that's a great result against Liverpool.
We had a point to prove the whole season.
Yeah.
We had a massive point to prove. And I mean, I sit right behind the goal where Wisher scored that chip. I literally sit right there. So their moments are so special. Obviously, I go with my brother. They're just, because, like you said, little old Brentford, the fans that proper support Brentford, that will travel home and away, even though there's only a selective few of us, it means so much to us, like, to keep Brentford in the Premier. Even this year, everyone making their predictions was like, oh, Brentford have lost Frank. Someone's at Norgard, they lost their captain. It was like, we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like, just wait. And then proving everyone wrong again, it's the best feeling. No one believed in us that first year. And beating all the big boys, yeah, you can't beat that feeling.
Yeah, and I think, was it back in 19 to 20? I think that playoff defeat against Fulham, it's almost come as a bit of a blessing in disguise because it's given you like that time to, you know, really rebuild, reset as a team, have that one last season in the Championship, and you've just gone and, you know, bossed the league, won the playoffs, and then come into the Premier League ready, like you said. And yeah, I think that's just become a bit of a blessing in disguise, like I say. Really good, yeah.
Definitely, and we always say as well, for us as fans, it was also a blessing. At the time, it was the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
But we just lost to our main rivals. But you look at the season after that, and no one was going to games, and then for a large part of it, and then we got to the main season, the season we got into the Prem, and it was completely free. We could go home and away, and if we had got to the Prem, if we'd beat Fulham that night, we might have got relegated.
Yeah.
And I mean, I might have never watched Brentford in the Prem, except from maybe 1 or 2 games. So, yeah, that is definitely a blessing, looking back on it.
Yeah, and it was behind closed doors the season after as well. So I think that the fans has a big factor to play.
Massive factor.
Yeah. Anything else for you?
Obviously, I think just before we move on from Brentford, I think it's only right we do a little Brentford past and present team.
All-time 11.
All-time 11.
Yeah, I like that. Top of my head, put me under pressure. I'll go based off players I've watched and players that are more preferenced, because obviously we had like Chesney in goal a few games. I don't remember Chesney being a Brentford player. So I would say we'll go 4-3-3. David Raya is definitely in between the sticks. He was incredible.
Some goalkeeper.
Yeah, when he was with us in the Championship, you knew he was going to go to a big club. He was always destined for it. Right back is a tricky one. Right back, we've had loads of like average right backs, but I'd say Henrik Davidsgaard. He was only with us when we was in the Championship, but he was like proper Brentford. That's what everyone called him. He was proper Brentford. He loved the club. He's one player that I wish got to be with us for the Premier League seasons. I wish he was, even if he didn't play, I wish he was just there because he did so much for the club. Centre backs, definitely Pontus Jansson.
Yes,
Captained us to get the playoffs. When we signed him from Leeds, we obviously got him because of that incident with Bielsa against Villa. I think it was, when they had that fight and Jansson lost his head. So that was the best thing that ever happened to Brentford because he was massive for us. I'd go him, go current player Nathan Collins, current captain. He's incredible. Obviously, he's doing it with Ireland as well. He's very good. Rico Henry at left back, done it for years with us. He's been incredible. 3 in midfield, I'd go Norgard at the base. He's my favourite player of all time. I love Norgard. I was gutted he left, but happy at the same time. With him in midfield, as much as I'm not a fan of him anymore, Christian Eriksen. That year he was with us in the Premier, he was levels above us. Obviously, wanted him to stay, but the things he could do with a football was mental. Never seen at Brentford before. Other midfielder, probably go Romain Sawyers. Bit of a throwback. You probably don't even know who Romain Sawyers is. Yeah, he was with us in the Championship, and he was one of those players where on his day was, I think, the best player in the Championship, and then off his day was the worst player in the Championship. He had no in between. He was either unbelievable or terrible. And then front three is definitely the BMW.
Yes.
Benrahma, Watkins, and Mbeumo.
Yeah.
No space for Tony. He can be in the reserves. Not a fan of him. But that front three was incredible. The year that we lost the playoffs before the COVID, watching them three was just like, we're going to score like 3 goals a game just because of them. They were incredible. Benrahma was magic. He didn't fulfill how good he could have been at West Ham. He obviously didn't do that well. He could have been so much better than he was. Watkins has already obviously done all right for himself. And then Mbeumo's a bit of a later bloomer, but all 3 of them were incredible. It was a joy to watch. It was really
Obviously, you're a big fan of Mbeumo now, aren't you?
Yeah, he's doing well for us. He's a quality signing, I think.
He's so good.
He's some player. And watching him live, especially, I've seen him at Brentford and now United, watching him live, it's just a joy to watch, really. Great player. But I think I was watching when you beat QPR at home at Griffin Park in that playoff defeat season.
When all 3 of them scored.
Yeah, that was... I watched that game and they were all really good players that day. Yeah, Benrahma especially.
They just ran all over him. That's what it was like for most of that season. For most of the season, our team was quite similar to our first team that we got in the Prem. So they were obviously ready, but it was just, we just constantly ran at teams. We played such exciting football. And there were so many games we were 3-0 up in half an hour. Even when I spoke about Sheffield Wednesday game, last game of the season, we won like 5-0. I think we beat Luton 7-0 that season as well, or a season before. But with that team, we just battered so many teams because we played such exciting, and we were relentless.
Yeah, and I think Benrahma, obviously, he left that season where you got promoted, and then for Thomas Frank to bring in a recruitment as well, he's, Wissa, he's done really well since he's. I don't know when he signed. Was he?
He signed, I believe, when Benrahma left.
Yeah.
Or maybe the season after. They were never together.
Yeah.
I don't think.
But he's been a really good replacement. Obviously, he's gone on to move to Newcastle now. I think Brentford's success is really down to, obviously, the great players they've had over the years, but Thomas Frank as well. Because I think Thomas Frank, I've met him, he's a really great guy, and he's a good manager as well.
Yeah.
His tactics are spot on, and I think he's doing well at Spurs this season. A couple dodgy defeats, but he's a great manager. So
I think as well, the main thing with Frank is, it's the main thing for Brentford with me is the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
People don't realise the work that goes in and how many staff we have. Where when Frank left, everyone was like, "Oh my God, Brentford are screwed." I was like, "No, it's okay," because we've got the same behind the scenes stuff that you don't even know exist. They do the data, they do the research, and so many of the players we sign are actually with us for quite a while, and you're like, what have we signed here? They're terrible. And then they become your best player. And you're
like Jordan Henderson.
Yeah. And Damsgaard as well. Damsgaard and Henderson obviously in the midfield together now. Damsgaard's first year, obviously everyone knew Damsgaard because of the free kick against England, but he was terrible for us. He was playing Carabao Cup and that was it. And now he's our best player. In my opinion. This season he's been incredible. And the same with Wissa. When Wissa started, he was a sub, he was an impact player. And then he started scoring goals and you're like, wow, this player's good as well. And there's just so many of them that you're like, who are these people? And then they go on to boss it. And you're like, that is some seriously good recruitment. Like hours and weeks have gone in. They haven't just watched a couple of games. They have watched so many. I don't know if you've seen it, but I think Mbeumo said something like, when he was in the French League 2, Brentford watched like 37 of his 40 games that season, which just shows the commitment that we have to getting these players in.
Yeah.
It makes them feel loved. It makes them feel wanted. And also makes sure that they're good enough at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I think there were the appointment of Keith Andrews as well. At the time, people think, was he a set piece coach? Like dodgy appointment. But as you said, the sort of recruitment and the behind the scenes stuff, looking at who's the best for the job, and nobody knows who really Keith Andrews is until he's come into the job, and I think he's done really well. So they obviously take time looking at who to appoint, who to recruit, and I think they've done a really good job over the years. So
So do I.
yeah.
So obviously, just quickly, are you Thomas Frank person or a Keith Andrews? Obviously, was it too soon to call?
It's too soon to call. I think those that are close to me, my family, would know that I wasn't ever Thomas Frank's biggest fan, because I always, like I just said, believed in the bigger picture, and I always believed that. And Frank, my mate will back me. He's obviously a Tottenham fan now. Always believed that Frank's great pre-game, but in-game, I question him. I don't know if his subs are always correct. Like, there was sometimes I was like, what?
Because when like his first game in charge, I remember you telling me he had an AirPod in.
Yeah, he
getting a call from someone up in the director's
someone
box.
upstairs was telling him what to do, and that's when I don't know. I was always a bit iffy on him. Obviously, he did great for us, so I appreciate him so much. But I think it's too soon to tell with Keith Andrews. But I think so far, I don't think there's been many games where Keith Andrews has been questionable. I've always agreed, and the thing I like about Andrews as well, when we was with Thomas Frank, it was predictable. If we played Luton Town, we were going 4-3-3. If we were playing Chelsea at home, we were going 5-3-2. Facts. We were sitting in and we were scoring on the counter. Where I think Andrews goes 4-3-3. This is what we're good at. We're going to go at you, no matter who you are. When we played Chelsea the other week, we went at you. It was like, doesn't matter who you are. We're going for you. We're going to outrun you. We're going to do what we do good. We're going to win throw-ins and we're going to chuck it 40 yards into the box. But yeah, it's way too soon to tell who I prefer.
Yeah, and I think you see that more nowadays in the modern game with managers. You see they're very stubborn with their tactics. Obviously, Amorim was being questioned about his formation and, why wasn't he changing it to suit the United players better. And I think that's the same with, like you said, there with Keith Andrews, 4-3-3, very stubborn with their tactics. And if it works, it works. And for Brentford, obviously, this season, for the games they've won, it's worked and they've picked up good points as well.
I think that comes, though, from the higher-up people at the club.
Yeah.
And I think people these days are too quick with their decisions to get rid of managers. I know that as a coach, obviously, I don't coach anywhere near the level that managing a Premier League side, but things go wrong. And you've got to take so long to embed these things into players. And that's why people like Amorim are just going there and they're just doing what suits them. Because if they go into a new environment and they try and adapt to help the players, then it doesn't go well. They're gone straight away. So they're just going in with the mentality of like, basically, I've got 6 weeks to prove myself. Otherwise, I'm probably going to be gone. If we're winless in 6, they're going to be like, why have they appointed him?
It's like Ange.
Yeah. So they're just going to go with the mentality of, this is the way I play. You lot have got to get on board. You lot are professional footballers. They're all intelligent. They know how to play football. So it's kind of like, get on board with me and then let's go from there. And obviously, Amorim, the football United play this year are really good.
Yeah.
So, and he's been trusted a little bit longer than other teams. But like you said, Ange has already been sacked after, I don't even...
Month and a half.
Yeah, a month and a half.
Yeah.
So short, about 6 weeks, like I said. So it's important that the people high up at the club trust the manager.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're there to do at the end of the day.
And the media play a massive part in that as well, because they put piles of pressure on the managers nowadays. So even Slot won the league with Liverpool last season, his first season. He's already facing pressure from the English media sort of thing, like, is he the man for the job? But just give these people time and they'll fix these sort of just small things. Like going back to Amorim, he's brought in the players this season at the transfer window, Cunha, Sesko and Burmo. He's even brought in a new goalkeeper that nobody really knows.
Yeah.
And we weren't really getting the results the first 3-4 games, but as these players sort of gel and they settle in, that's when the results start to come. So, people just need to give it time, I think.
So, obviously, moving on now, obviously, Borders League. I don't know if you know, but Alfie did the trials.
Trials, yeah.
What is, obviously, the process like for that?
So, I mean, it's very, like, in-house. And what I mean by that is, if you just apply for a trial, it was all over Instagram, apply for the trial. I don't think there's much hope of you getting it, unless you're somebody, like, they look at your name and they're like, oh, wow, he's trial, like, put him in. It's very, like, who you know, what you know, and then, obviously, you go to loads of the trials, and, I mean, I went to the trial with never of the thought that I'm going to be in Ball League. Obviously, I always wished for that. I always pushed myself. I always said to myself, like, I believe you can be in Ball League. I still do. But it's obviously a very long-winded process and a little bit false, in my opinion, where they have the trials, yes, but if you look at, I don't know if you can get the stats, but if you look at the stats of how many players in the Ball League this season actually came from one of those trials in the summer, I think there'd be a very small number.
Yeah.
Because most of them were people that have either been referenced or have gone to the trial, but it's like, you're going to be in. I just come to the trial to make people happy. I think people go into the trial to actually trial never really stood a chance. When we got there, I went to the Manchester one. It was 4 stations. It was a 6v6. It was a 3v3. It was like 1v1, then the 2v2, like one of the game changers. And then it was like a social media thing. So you have basically an hour and a half to prove yourself and then 3 rotations. And if you don't, that's it. And if you do, you've got to prove yourself again. And it's so hard to prove yourself in that scenario because everyone's going for the same thing. And people are there going, oh, watch Alf, he's good. Go watch Finley, he's good. And then it's, okay, they're focused on them.
Yeah.
So I just went for it because I got into a good 6 society and I'd played with so many really good players that are in the small-sided game. So many players that are in Baller League I'm good mates with. So it was just give it a try. What have you got to lose? And that's one thing I'd always say to my team, for example, linking it back to coaching. You have nothing to lose. You can go to any trial in the world. Every single time I coach, you know, Alf, I just relate it to trials and how to conduct yourself, how to be off the pitch, how to be on the pitch. Because as long as you come back from that trial with your head held high and can say, I gave it my all and I did well, and I was in that level, then you have a reason to be proud of yourself. I was in a team with players that were step 2, step 3, like 2-3 levels above me, and I went home and was like, I can play with them. That was fine. Small-sided game. I was good. So making sure that my boys can go to these places and be confident and not go in there like, oh, I'm a bit nervous. That guy's better than me. It's like, I can play with him and I can beat him. Let's go at it. Let's give it our all. And then afterwards you go home like, I did my bit. Now let's see if they prefer it, because football's about opinions at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fact. As much as people don't like it, as much as I don't like it, I would have opinions. If I was watching 2 players, that 2 midfielders, obviously my boys now, I've got really good technical players.
Yeah.
Let's say strikers. I've got a really quick striker and I've got another striker that's a good hold-up striker. If I'm playing against a team that's defensively slow, the quick player, when we get competitive, is going to have more minutes. That's how football works. That's my opinion on what's going to work in that game. So the managers in Baller League are the same. If they've got Alf, who's a big, strong centre-back, and then there's me, who's a big, strong centre-back, for example, they're not going to want me. They're going to want someone that's technical centre-back. So I just went there, gave it my all, and then, yeah, I went on trial with one of the teams, and then there it was just the same thing. It was opinions. It was whatever coach had the biggest say. And, yeah, it was just give it your all. And then hopefully season 3 I'll try again. I'm never going to stop trying. There's no harm in it. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. So I'm, like, one of my teammates at BA, he was in Baller League season 1. He's not in Baller League season 2. He gets digged for it at training, but so what? He doesn't mind it. He takes it on the chin. Everyone says, oh, you weren't good in Baller League, whatever. But he can be like, I was in Baller League. I gave it my all. I had great experiences. He played on Deportrio, so he was managed by Michael Richards and Sturridge. So it was just, it's all about giving it your all and not being afraid to fail. That's the main part.
Yeah, and when, like you said, when it comes to trials and stuff like that, I think football kind of evolves around players with confidence and levels of self-belief. I feel like there could be people watching right now and stuff like that they don't have the confidence within them when playing football, and I feel like that really hampers performances.
Massive.
Where if you look at professional players, look at Bellingham, for example, he's got a massive self-belief, he's got levels of confidence, and that's where the ego comes from as well. And I feel like with that self-belief and confidence comes performances.
I think as well, if we relate it to my playing career, I think that's probably one of my biggest regrets. I was always confident. Once the whistle blew, I always backed myself to beat the opposition, especially if I was playing someone I knew was better than me. Like, I played against great players for County. I played against great players for, when I was in a team that went to play in academy, it was like we played Arsenal, and Jimmy Gower played. At the time, he was incredible. He was like really talked about. And I backed myself to beat him no matter how good he was. But I think the other side of it was all of the people that I know that went on to go pro, if I look back on it, was like, it's about me. I'm going to these trials, it's about me. I'm going midfield. I want the ball. I'm not going in goal when it's like, who can go in goal for 10 minutes? I was always the person like, oh, I'll do you a favour. I'll play out of position. I can play there. Well, I think trials now is more important, like, where can you play? I play centre mid. I want to play centre mid.
Yeah.
Can you do a job at right back? Not really. I play centre mid. And that's what these academy players always did. It was always about them. And then as much as it's an ego, and at the time you're like, oh, he's a melon. But you look at it, they're doing it for themselves. And that's what football is at the end of the day. It's for yourself until you're in the team environment. But you have to get yourself into the team environment.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, I would never say to my boys, go there and be horrible. Like, don't look at people, don't be mean, don't make it all about you, but you have to put yourself as the number one. You are the most important person.
Yeah, and I think I've even seen it myself, with under 18s players, and then you get it with a load of academy players as well. You're competing against your teammates almost to try and get first team football or noticed by other clubs. And I think that's where sometimes it can all come crashing down. Where I've played against teams where, they're all as one basically, where you're playing with a bunch of individuals, and that's where it really separates at that age especially.
Yeah, you have to find the balance.
Yeah.
You have to be able to say that, okay, this is for me. I'm getting into this environment. Like Baller League, no one's there to do anyone favours. You have to, in terms of like playing, the boys that are playing, no one's there to help. If there's a chance for a sweaty and he can also score, he's scoring every single time. He's not going to sweat unless he has to. That's just how these trials work. So it's being able to work in a team while still being like, this is for me. I'm going to go there and I'm going to shake every coach's hand. I don't care if there's 100 boys there that laugh at me. I'm going to go and shake hands and say, hi, my name's Alfie. Nice to meet you. I'm going to go there and stay afterwards or be early and warm up properly. I'm not going to be the person that is with my three mates playing two-touch, messing about, like flicking each other's ears, for example. Because then it's just like, well, they're not serious. That lad over there is lunging. He's doing stretches. He's ready. So it's making sure that you focus on yourself while still being a team player.
Yeah,
I think that's the most important.
Yeah, and the attitude comes into it as well. I think that's what coaches look for a lot nowadays. Like a lot of academy coaches as well, especially. Talent is a big factor when it comes to football, but you have to have that confidence and that mentality alongside it. And I think if you put those two together, then you've got an unbelievable player. Where if you have a really good technical player, but he doesn't have that mentality, that winner's mentality, then coaches won't really want to look at that. Where they'd rather take a player with less ability but bags of mentality. Yeah, they'd rather take that sort of person. Yeah,
agreed.
So I think just before we wrap up, is there any obviously words of advice you want to give to the boys? Because I'm hoping they will watch it. Obviously, two of their coaches are on here.
Yeah, I hope so.
Is there any obviously advice you want to give them for the rest of the season, for the future, even just obviously for when the episode comes out?
Yeah, no. Listen, this is for like anyone. Obviously, anyone who plays football. We're aiming it at the boys, but football's highs and lows. Yeah, football's changed. Like, you can go to one club and you're the best player, and you can go to another club, you're not the best player. I could go play for you, and you like technical people, and you think I'm amazing, and then I sign for you, and you just want quick, powerful midfielders, and then I don't get played. Or as you get older, football gets harsher, so you have to just make sure you enjoy it. Enjoy football, enjoy the highs, enjoy the lows. Obviously, we lost on Sunday. We got a bit of a lesson. The team we played were good. Have to learn from that. Look at what they did. Look at what I should have done better. What should we have done better as a team? Where can we improve? Football's all about learning. It's all about lessons. It's all about improving. You're never, ever good enough. That's the fact. You're never at the level you want to be. Lamine Yamal is probably the best player in the world right now on his day. I know he does his partying and whatever, but he'll work so hard behind the scenes at training. I can assure, I don't know the bloke, obviously, but I can assure you he'll be training on time. He'll work so hard. He'll have such good mentality. So it's just make sure you always work hard and make sure you always enjoy football. And if you don't enjoy the football, you either speak to the coach, you speak to someone, you speak to your parent or your guardian, or you get out of that environment. You have to there's always space in football. There's never, ever not enough space. There's so many levels. There's so many, like, when we train at goals, you see dads who are terrible at football, but they play because they enjoy it. As long as you're playing football, that's all that matters. So, boys, if you are listening, my boys on my team, just always play football, please. Go and have a good career and enjoy it.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's everything, unless you want to, obviously...
Yeah, I want to say one more thing.
Got him.
I want to say credit to you. This man right here, obviously, I've known Alf since he was 12, and he was... I'm not meaning to be rude, he was a short, chubby kid, who I was so worried about, and he worked so hard, and I just wanted to make him the best person he could. And Alf, I'm really proud of you doing this. You're amazing at it, and you're working hard, and you're surrounded by good people.
Cheers.
Credit to you, mate. Well done.
Yeah, I've just remembered the crossbar video from about 4 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't think you should say that. Yeah.
I don't think I've showed you lot it, but I think I'll give you a little watch of it afterwards, and then I'll do one of last year. Just see a bit.
Put it in the video, yeah.
Yeah, we'll put it in a bit. You can see what Alf was like when he was 12.
Do a little side-by-side comparison.
See how much he's improved.
So obviously, thank you for watching. That's Alfie Essex. Obviously, do you want to shout out your Instagram if anyone wants to come watch some of your compilations?
Alfie_Essex. Nice and easy. Follow me on there. If you want any advice, whoever watches it, you could be a coach, you could be a player, whatever you want. You just give me a follow, drop me a message, and yeah, always welcome.
Thank you, Alfie, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.